Okay, let me try to talk more about the low angle adapter. The low angle adapter is used to give this added functionality. The way the wicked edge are all designed, they work on geometry, and the geometry is based on where the knife edge is above the jawline in relationship to where the guide rod is positioned along the frame of the wicked edge. The Wicked Edge 60 series, the 100 series with the square bar, whatever, it's the same thing. This is a bench vise that clamps the knife vertically in a manner such that for most of us, we put the center line of the knife center line. I say for most of us because there are knives that are not centered. And that's another story. But I didn't want to say all and something like that and then have people say, but it's not true. This device, this guided sharpener and other guided sharpeners are meant to clamp the knife centered so that when we use a guide rod, we are setting an angle that's relative to the center line to that apex. And sometimes it's too close, and what happens is the stones scuff against the vise before we can contact the knife edge, because we got within the limits of the adjustments of the setup. All of them were like that. And I experienced that with my Pro Pack 2. So the low angle adapter, when you put it in the vise and you clamp the knife, that like that instantaneously changes the geometry of the wicked edge setup such that that triangle becomes bigger because you changed one side and all the sides are related. So the adapter is an instantaneous, easy, resourceful fix, and it works well. The problem that I have with it is that it's hard to use it repeatedly without a lot of experience. You know, once you use it, you get experience with it, but it presents another challenge that I didn't care for. You understand that when I was starting and I was learning and I found the bevel heights were different and I started looking into that, and then I learned that the blades were canted with the standard vise, and then I put another standard vise on top of the first standard vise. So then I saw that there was more of a bevel difference, and it just complicated everything for me because I was so particular with myself. I was looking at my sharpening results with that scrutiny that I learned that the faults that the standard vise had, this is not a standard vise, but the faults with the blade wing can be attributed here too. And then when you take a standard vise and put a standard vise on it, yes, it lets you get that knife sharpened. And yes, that knife is perfectly sharp and will do everything you need it to do. But for me, working with the angles and the scope and looking at everything, it wasn't perfect to my eyes. Even though that knife would whittle hair and cut paper and cut food, and you couldn't tell. But to me, the sharpener, scrutinizing my work, there was something off. I found through working with Wicked Edge, when Wicked Edge introduced the Gen 3 Pro, that was a taller vise than the standard vise, that when I put that on my Wicked Edge 120, that taller vise, all of a sudden, a lot of those angle problems went away with the geometry change, and I didn't need to look to use the low angle adapter anymore. I'm going to stop here.